1,000 in my save state. Anyways, we'll go ahead and get started. So, like I was saying, it's important to know that you have 2 commands now. So with your first command, you're going to hit haste. Your second command, you're going to fire a bullet. I think the optimal way to do it would be to actually fire a bullet and cast haste with the second one. Because anytime you use spells, anytime you use items, that's going to be instantaneous. So it's going to actually put it into an instance time period. So what'll happen is it'll actually freeze. It'll freeze the time in the game. So she won't be able to act. She won't be able to do anything. ATB is not charging any of that stuff. So if I use my bullet first, that means as soon as she readies an attack, after that bullet has been fired, it cancels it and it casts haste, because haste gets priority. It's a spell, it's an item, what have you. Whereas if I cast haste and then shoot, as soon as haste is finished, she's free to do what she's going to do. So I think it's a more advantageous position to fire the bullet first and then cast haste. So that's what we're going to do. Also, it doesn't see my AT is already that far charged. We're just going to shoot her from a distance, dodge the... Oh, wow. So I wasn't able to dodge the hand there. Generally, that's what you're going to want to do. It's just dodge the... You can get away with casting haste a second time if it gets wiped off, like she just wiped off right there. But you can't afford to have it... you can't afford to cast it a third time. Because you need all of your... you need all of your Parasite energy for the next leg of the fight. Wow, so that was a pretty clean Eve. She didn't even jump to the center. Usually what'll happen there is she will, if after you defeat one of the 3 parts of her, she'll jump to the middle and use different attacks. But if you're able to kill her before she gets to that point, you save a little bit of time. So that was actually a really good fight. I'm going to actually fast forward through this, get to the next phase. So here in the next phase, what we're going to do is, instead of using haste, so the best thing to do is to run to where I am now. As soon as the fight starts, run to kind of like the right side of the screen here. And that means that, because she always starts up here, and she moves her way around. So by the time you have full ATB charge, she'll end up over right around here, and be here by the time you fire your first hit. She'll be about here by the time the second goes off. So as you can see, I'm not 100% all the way down here. Probably would have been a little bit better if I positioned myself kind of right here, because that covers her full range. So she might actually outrange me if she continues to travel up if I don't get it out fast enough. But you actually need to land 4 attacks, usually, and then liberate. What I do is I do attack, attack, wait for ATB, attack, use liberate with my second command. And if she happens to live through liberate, I just fire 1 more extra attack when liberate is finished. And by doing that, it keeps her from the longer you wait before casting liberate, the more risky the fight gets, the more likely she is to fly up in the air, the more likely she is to do some damage. Whereas if you cast liberate in the middle and then just finish her off afterwards, it's actually much safer and you're less likely to take any kind of debilitating damage. So we'll finish this out. I was able to get both rounds off. So right here, boom, you attack once, come down to cast liberate. So that cancels, as you can see, in the middle of her attack. So if I manage to kill her before she's finished with this attack, she won't even finish it. So that's where you can see that the longer you wait, obviously, is a little bit more detrimental. Now, this might not kill her, but I did get a good amount of... I got all 3 of my hits off beforehand. And she did die. Oh, no. So, boom. Just 2 more hits then. Oh, wow, a lot more. Oh, okay. Yes, 2 more hits then. So that's to be expected. But it canceled her attack, and it allowed me to have a safer, faster fight. So that's the best way to do it. Fire once, fire twice, fire 3rd time, and on the 4th, so use 1 round to attack with both bullets, with both commands. Use your second turn to fire with 1 of your commands, liberate with the other command. I'm going to skip all this nonsense. A lot of mashing here. So you immediately, as soon as you see this transition out, start holding up and left, and then left once you're in line with the door. Release up and only hold left to hit the door. Immediately start mashing. You don't need to move or anything like that. So right here, you're going to see this guy. Once he moves his hand for the last time, it's really hard to tell. Just be mindful, pay attention. There's not really any on-screen prompts or anything like that that make it super obvious when he's going to open this. Just hit circle. If you accidentally hit hold equipment or whatever, then hit circle. If you're also not paying attention and you click on one of these to rename it, which is relevant for post-game stuff only, 100% irrelevant, you don't want to deal with it, hit circle, circle. If you accidentally choose to rename it, and you see that then like the keyboard menu pop up, hit start immediately, just to close it as fast as possible. And then proceed to hit circle to master the rest of the text. But, so now, if you are worried about ammo, so you should never, with this new route, thanks to Primus's incredible job routing in ammo and routing out a lot of the issues, and now that we switched to the M8000, regardless of what gun we use, you shouldn't even need this much ammo. You realistically could make it work with 60 ammo in your crate and a full gun, easily. But if you're worried about ammo, say you only have 20 ammo, or something like that, say you have less than 60 in your crate and 22 in your gun. If that's the case, or if you're worried about medicine, you don't have enough medicine, you think you're gonna die, you want to get some more medicine force just to be sure. If you're worried about any of that stuff, just come right over here to this guy, run directly left when you're done with talking to old boy over here. Go to the officer. He'll give you 2 medicine 4s. He'll give you, I think, 3 medicine 3s. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 medicine 3s. How about that? So that's really strong medicine. So if you're worried about any of that, it doesn't take long to come over here and get 90 ammo, 4 medicine 3s, and 2 medicine 4s. Doesn't take long at all. None of that is necessary. I didn't need any of it. I was going to be fine regardless, but it's important to know that that guy exists. Also, that you can see that phone right there, you can save. If you're worried about dying, this is actually some of the easiest string of boss fights in the game. If you're worried about dying, feel free to save. If it's just, you know, you're still learning the route, you're working on, you know, getting PBs and stuff like that, feel free to save. However, make sure when you are running from Ultimate Being in a little bit that you don't try to save again, because that phone stops working the second you walk out that door. So if you didn't save there, you do not have another opportunity to. Do not try to save or any of that stuff, because it's going to lose you the run. So right here, this fight is exceptionally easy. What you do, I'm actually going to save state so I can show the trick. What you do here is just like Eve, and what you'll do for pretty much most of these, I guess just this one. So your first command, fire your bullet, haste, because haste will apply, and look how much and you've already got a quarter of your thing. So basically just chase this dude down, shoot him to death. If he drops to the floor, immediately stand on top of him, immediately. Otherwise just gun him to death. So right here, stand on top of him. As you can see, he did 0 damage to me. For some reason, when he does that attack, when he drops to the floor and does that attack, it'll reduce you to 1 health. Naturally, it'll just pop your strongest medicine. But if you stand on top of his head, you'll actually take 0 damage from the attack. So make sure that you're paying attention to that. If you see him drop, immediately stand on top of him. Saves you a medicine. You can't really die from him anyways, I don't think. I'm trying to think of... No, I really don't think you can die to that guy, because no matter what he does, he's going to pop your vest. So yeah, just haste and gun him down. Once haste wears off, don't recast it, just continue to gun him down, because you need full Parasite energy for this fight here. Don't cast haste, run at him, shoot him. Now, he's going to do 2 attacks. That's the one you want to see, because that way you just stand in front of him and you shoot him. And once he's done, you shoot him once right here, as soon as he splits, and liberate. Now this is my strategy for this fight. I know other people do it differently. This is the safest way, and it's the same amount of time. So I don't see, like, you can lose 10 seconds doing it this way. It's bad RNG. But ultimately, it's the better way to do it, in my opinion. As far as safety, it's not even close. But what you need is 4 of your 7 liberate hits to hit the body piece. And so we need all of the hits now to be on the body piece. So they're not going to. So that's bad RNG, and we're going to lose the 10 seconds. But now what's going to happen is when the wings die and the body doesn't, he just hops immediately to the center. And when he hops immediately to the center like that, you can just shoot him to death. Oh, he didn't hop yet. So usually I'll hop to the center, it's one more hit, and he's dead, right? Well, if he doesn't, just fucking get out of the way, shoot him. If you do get all 4 hits or more onto that body piece, the fight's over there. So worst case scenario, you got to shoot him one more time. So that's the best way to go about that fight, in my opinion. This fight is, because we used our Parasite energy, a little bit more tricky. What you're going to do is fire 12 shots. Just shoot him. It's really, really hard for this guy to kill you. Get a free attack off, as many as you can squeeze. And whenever he starts running to a corner, follow him. You're going to probably take damage, that's fine. Medicine should carry you through this fight. If you still have a revive, then you definitely don't need to worry about it. Just attack him until your PE is full again. And that's all you do. You just chase him to the corners, keep attacking. Perfect. When he jumps in place like that, it's super good, because you can just stay where you're at, get another free attack off. And then as soon as this happens, just cast Liberate. Don't even bother what you do with the second command, because by the time Liberate finishes, if he's not dead, he'll end up moving to the center anyways, which is what he does once he falls below a certain HP threshold. And he's dead. So it's that simple. You can see that's 3 of the 4 boss fights, and those were the hardest 3. The next one is cake. So you can see now that once you make it past Eve, as long as you got Liberate. Now, I mentioned earlier that if you weren't level 33, you were going to struggle. And level 33 is when you learn Liberate. So if you don't have Liberate, you're in trouble. And my advice would be to, you just got to gun everything to death. I mean, there's not really any advice I can spare to you. So right here, you're going to fire 2 bullets at a time. Just continue to shoot him. He has to take 20 damage before he will turn into the second phase. So just stay near him. These things that are skating across the ground don't do a whole lot of damage. It adds up, but if you know that you have a handful of medicines in your inventory, don't bother wasting a heal. It's irrelevant. It's not gonna help. Your medicine should take care of you, because those things don't have the capability of one-shotting you. They don't do a crap ton of damage. It just adds up to a lot. But if you have any kind of medicine in your inventory, you should be able to make it through that phase no problem. The second phase, you're forced to use Maida's gun. Fires 2 bullets at a time. They both do 999 damage, which is max. You should fire a total of 8 shots, which is 4 rounds, I believe. Could be 5 rounds. Can't remember. But again, if you have medicine in your inventory, don't bother to heal. If you're worried about it, don't be afraid to drop a heal 3. You don't really need your Parasite energy. But as you can see, I'm having no issue staying alive whatsoever, because I know that I have medicine in my inventory. And 1 more round should do it. And boom. That's it. The fight is over. It's that simple. And because we've put all our points into ATB so early on, regardless of what weapon we're using, we're getting that ATB bonus. So that gun fires faster than it usually does because of how we've spent our bonus points up until this point. Now this is the most nerve-wracking scene in the entire game, but fret not, it's not difficult. I'm going to create a save state right here so I can show you a couple things. Fret not, it's not difficult. If I have any advice to you, I wonder if he starts moving before I guess not. Oh shit, he does. Wow. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to reload that then. Okay, so what happens is he chases you, right? As soon as it transitions, mash out of it, start running to the door where you went in earlier, where we got the ammo, where we looked at the map and all that shit, right? It's going to be down and left. Hold down and left. Now, this is the most important thing about these next few. I think there's 11 screens, 12 screens in total. 1, 2. Yeah, 12 screens in total. 10 screens that you need to worry about. What happens is you need to no longer be holding the direction, you know, buffering loads. You can't do it anymore, right? It's way safer just to not worry about it. Wait for the screen to load. Look at what direction you have to travel, and then begin to travel in that direction. Losing that second or two is not going to cost you anything. The only thing that's going to cost you is time. But if you accidentally are holding the wrong direction and you progress to a screen that you were already on, you lose the run. This guy will catch up to you. You're immediately dead. You have to load your last save. Now, for a lot of people doing the run, they don't save at any point. If you did happen to save before, the most recent point you had to save was before the ultimate being fights. You would have to redo all 4 of those fights. At quickest, that's like a 6-minute sequence. So you would have to, basically, you take that amount of time plus however much time it took you to die in a time loss. So just cost yourself a couple seconds. It makes this a lot safer. It seems a lot more difficult than it is because of how easy it is to screw up, but really it's not that bad. I don't even have notes or anything. I'm just gonna show you what it looks like. So immediately start, hold circle, mash X, and take the fuck off. Run towards the door up here. She'll open it herself. You know, you don't have to do anything. She'll immediately run to the map herself as well. So just as soon as she gets in here, just start mashing X. Hold left, go up this door. Do not hit that phone. It doesn't work. And as soon as you hit it and exit out of it, he'll catch up to you and you'll be dead. So right here, you're going to hold up, wait for the screen to load, up and left. If you go up and right, you're going to die. So right here, again, just wait for the screen to load, hold up. Now you could buffer the loads if you wanted to, but it's just not worth the risk, especially if you misremember one screen. Like if you don't remember that this screen is supposed to go down and you accidentally travel up or left or right, you're going to run back and die. And right here, let it load. Don't be impatient. Primus's notes have all of this in great detail, so if you need to glance at it at every single load, totally feel free to. I still do. I still have my notes up for this sequence just because of how easy it is to lose a run to it. I think that every speedrunner at some point has lost a run to this sequence. Now right here, make absolutely sure that you don't go around this, that you don't pass it up. You have to hit this because the boat won't explode like it's supposed to at the end. And if you don't do it, you'll when you exit the boat, he'll jump on top of you. So like you absolutely have to do this. She triggers the boat to explode or whatever. Don't worry, he will not catch up to you, even though it seems like he's gaining on you. And then right here, the best thing to do is to just mash, hit this. As soon as you get off of it, just hold left, and you're gonna run straight to the ladder. Go down just a tad. Let her climb up the ladder. Don't touch anything. Let the screen load. Go down. Let the screen load. Down. Like you could sit there for a long time before he actually catches up to you. It makes the game makes it seem with like this really annoying ass music and like all this anxiety that he's a lot closer to you than he really is, but he's not. Right here, you want to hold down to go up the stairs. It's very important. He won't catch up to you, even though it looks like he's about to. You don't have to hit that trigger dead on either. As long as you run in that direction, it'll load you out. And then right here, boop, you escape to freedom. And that's it. That is Parasite Eve, ladies and gentlemen. I finally finished the tutorial. There's probably a few things I'm going to do individual streams of. I'm probably going to do some 121 worm fight practice for a little bit, just to get a better video and explanation of that. I'm going to like break it down, which I failed to do earlier. So that's it. I mean, we don't actually end split until the very, very end, after the credits. So I'll fast forward through all of this. There is a little bit of mashing left, but there's no actual gameplay. We are still, as a community, discussing whether or not we want to end the split right there as Aya exits the boat. We're not 100% positive for a couple of reasons, mainly because in-game time is a decent, like, we don't use in-game time for anything besides that you can kind of glance at it and have a general idea for the difference in load times in consoles. So it helps to have that. But other than that, it's just basically from the moment you exit the boat, about 14 to 15 minutes of just mashing cutscenes and 8 minutes of credits. So as of right now, though, you have to wait through all of it. Just continue to mash. Once this play starts, you can't mash any of it. So I'll show you the spot you can mash. So right here, they get up and they see the fire. And they say, "Holy shit, how terrifying!" Once it pans back to them, that's when you mash again. So right here, I'm not controlling anything. They realize it's no big deal. Let's see. But if you don't mash, it'll actually go on its own, just very slowly. So it's better to just mash. But if you go pee or something and you forget, have no fear. You're gonna lose 10 to 15 seconds or whatever, but it'll do it itself. So here you just let go for the rest of the game. You're done. You got about 9.5 minutes. I'm gonna fast forward through all of it. Go eat. Go pop off. Do whatever you want to do. You finish the run. Congratulations. Listen to the music. Enjoy the music. And just make sure that you're back before the credits end. A healthy way to kind of remember is as soon as you see, I'm trying to remember what it is, like the Square Enix company that worked on it, that means you are getting close to the end of it. So that's when you should come back and pay attention. The last thing you'll see is the director. Once you see the director's name, start mashing. There you go. Right here. Once you see Square Electronic Arts LLC, that's when you need to be back in your chair. You need to be ready. It's gonna still go for a little bit. You got about a minute, maybe a little bit longer. But as soon as you see director, start mashing like your life depends on it, right? You're gonna mash through a tutorial sequence that you'll just skip by mashing X. You'll see. And time stops. Now, there's a couple of different ways to do it. So just mash through this. Boom. Okay, so this is what you need to pay attention to. If you if you have a save file, first of all, make sure your memory card's in slot 1, because that's what's going to be selected by default. I have mine in slot 2 because it's on emulator and I was doing it for a specific reason or whatever, but it doesn't matter. So here, what you're going to do is if you've been saving, say you've been doing safety saves or things like that, if you have any save files whatsoever, it's going to come up, right? And instead of just mashing X, it auto-selecting 1, it auto-selecting a blank file and starting to save, you have to select this file, go to overwrite data. So this is 1, 2, 3. So it could be like, you know, 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds of time loss. And you have to be actively paying attention rather than just mashing and being able to stop your splits. So I would recommend, if you are not worried about saving, don't have any save files. If you don't plan on saving in your run, use a different memory card. Don't have a memory card plugged in. And just hit the save file or whatever. Wait, I wonder what happens if you don't have a memory card plugged in. I don't think anybody's ever tried that. I guess you just couldn't save. You would just have to hit end. In which case you wouldn't be given an in-game time or anything. That's funny. So I guess if you don't have a memory card, you don't own one, stop the time when you hit end. Granted, that's still 1, 2, end, as opposed to just mashing this, which happens in like a split second. Anyways, so imagine I'm mashing X. Time stops. When I come here, boom, time stops. When you see that first on appear on the screen, be highlighted, that's time. That's when you're going to stop your splits. Now you can see how much faster it is to be like, boom, it happens in a split second, right? Whereas if you have to overwrite something, you got a couple more inputs to put in. So just my advice, if you plan on safety saving, don't worry about it. Just remember, you're either going to have to select a new save or you're going to have to overwrite a save. If you don't plan on saving for your run or during the speed run, then use a blank memory card, or before you start your run, go into your memory card and delete all the files you have for Parasite Eve. And that's going to be it. Circle to exit out.